NordVPN.com/Fightful. Now you get 4 months free. That's not enough for you? How about changing your virtual location with just one click? That's not enough for you? How about it works on all your devices? That's not enough for you? How about a 30-day money-back guarantee? Is that still not enough for you? How about that online threat protection? Block online trackers, hackers, annoying pop-up ads, malware. Browse securely on that unsecured Wi-Fi when you're traveling, when you're at the hotel, when you're at the airport, any of that stuff. NordVPN.com/Fightful, the fastest VPN in the world. You can subscribe to overseas services, get pay-per-views much more affordably than here in the States or wherever you are, really. NordVPN.com/Fightful. 4 free months, 30-day money-back guarantee. Head over there. Check it out. What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful here with a name you know. We got Clark Connors. He's going to be at New Japan Rumble on 44th Street this Friday facing Minoru Suzuki. How you doing, man?
Good. It's the best I've felt in about 3 months back-wise, so we're on the right path, I think.
Yeah, it's your return. You haven't wrestled in a few months. Maybe explain to us like exactly, or if you know how this happened, what sidelined you, and the recovery process.
Yeah. So about 3 months ago, I was getting ready for a couple matches, and I was just at the gym squatting, something I've done 1,000 times, and literally probably thousands and thousands of times. But yeah, I lost form for a second, and I completely herniated my L5S1. And if you've seen my return video, it's about 2 millimeters from never walking again, which is nice to know. So, there's always fate on your side at some point. But yeah, it's just been a long recovery process, been stretching, working out every day. It's going to give me a lot of time to focus on some other things. And yeah, I've been enjoying the process, but I'm itching to get back in the ring.
I think the moral of the story is just don't work out, like ever.
Yeah, no, I asked my doctor, and she said, I said, well, what can I do for the future? She's like, well, probably just stop squatting that much weight. Well, thanks. Yeah, no, no, don't wrestle either. Oh, okay. Thank you for that.
Yeah, maybe don't fall on the ground repeatedly every day of your life for several years. I mean, that's something that I think would be conducive to maybe not injuring your back. But we're glad to see you back. At what point did you realize, okay, I'm good to go? I can do this, or is there any like hesitation on your part? Are you like in your mind thinking, this is wrestling, anything could happen when I'm out there, especially against a guy like Suzuki?
Well, that really is exactly kind of why I came back with that intention to wrestle Suzuki, to wrestle the guys who are going to be the heaviest hitters. Because honestly, I think if I ease back into it slowly but surely, I know that I'd be very wary, and I don't want to hurt my back, and I don't know if I should do this move, but I figured if you just throw me in the pocket with Minoru Suzuki, it's the old adage: if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball, right? So if I can take the hardest hit from Minoru Suzuki, then I'm not too worried when I get hit by anybody else. So let's go right into the feet in the fire, baby.
So you got that New York City this Friday. Do you remember those Pace Picante commercials back in the day?
Uh, I'd have to see it, but I
Listen,
think so.
they're wearing the same kind of hats that you wear. They're out there and they've got their salsa, and they're like, Pace Picante is made in San Antonio. Then they get the other brand and they're like, this one's made in New York City.
I remember
I
those.
feel like
Yeah,
there's a missed
yeah.
opportunity there. Like,
I know. I gotta reset my branding. I gotta reach out to my t-shirt people.
that was the
Yeah.
only reason I knew what Pace Picante was. I had no clue those commercials absolutely worked. But you faced Suzuki multiple times, just not in a one-on-one setting. How does that differ for you? I mean, obviously, there are so many variables there that are different when you're getting in the ring with a guy like Suzuki, who has decades behind him.
Yeah, no, so like I think that a couple times I've been in there with him where as a young lion as well, which adds another layer to it. Because he likes to really take out aggression on the young lions and really kind of set the tone, as it were. And good for him for it. I get it now. Not being a young lion anymore, they are pretty annoying, but it's running around. But no, I think the biggest difference is I watch his kind of the pace of how he wrestles, in a tag match versus in a singles match. In a singles match, he is a lot more drawn out, takes his time. You can see all parts of his game versus he hasn't really ever felt me mat wrestle him because in a tag situation we're not usually going that way. So I think there's a lot of parts of my game that are actually going to surprise him and that I've been adding to, and uh, and so I think in that sense I'm a more well-rounded than he's ever seen me, and I'm coming in as well, like I said, with just an untethered from consequence and reality. So I'm coming in. I'm just going to leave it all out there either way. So I'm excited to feed him man to man.
You mentioned wanting to be in the ring with the hardest hitters in New Japan. What's the hardest you've ever been hit in wrestling?
Oh man, dude, this might surprise you is Hanma. The other like recently when
Okay.
I wrestled him 101, I did not see that coming. The way he hits right is very robotic, and he's got that hard neck, and it's that New Japan style of hit me, no hit me harder, no hit me, no hit me harder. And I hit him as hard as I fucking could, dude. And this dude blasted me so hard, and I was like, my jaw shook and my eyes. I think my right eye's still kind of coming back into place. But yeah, that dude's a real one. It was great though.
A lot of people that might not have known who you were figured out who you were at Forbidden Door. You had a breakout performance there, which was obviously on short notice. Nobody could have predicted that was going to happen. Can you walk me through the process of you finding out that you were going to perform at Forbidden Door and sort of how you felt that all ended up for you?
Yeah, no man. I think that they found out Ishii was injured on maybe if Verdor was on Sunday, then they found out on Thursday, told me on Friday, and I was out the door on Saturday morning. So I had
Wow.
no idea. Yeah, it was. I found out actually maybe 15 to 30 minutes before everybody else did on Twitter or whatever the release was. They were like, Clark, can you go? Yep. All right, you're going. And then boom, they just announced it, right? So not a lot of time to think about it, not a lot of time to prepare, which I think for me was a good thing because I was just focused on just getting to America and then making sure I had my gear basically. And the wrestling part for me is the easy part. I knew that I could fit in to wherever I needed to be. I knew that the expectations are very low. Love that. I love when you have low expectations and you can just jump over them. And so I use that to my advantage, I think, as well. And I thought it went well. Obviously, I would like to win.
Sure.
Who wouldn't like to win? But in terms of making a first impression and making new fans and people eyes on myself and the New Japan product, I think I did a pretty good job of that.
And being in the ring with guys like Pac, Malachi Black, Miro, I mean, like that's quite the spot to be introduced to that audience in as well. And the match was well received. Everybody seemed to like it. That's got to feel good too, right? Knowing like going back and finding out, man, that was a banger. The crowd loved it.
Yeah, no, it was cool. It was those guys are all, I mean, obviously phenomenal wrestlers. They've been doing it for forever, and to get in there and then to there's obviously parts of the match that I liked because I was not getting my ass kicked the whole time. There's
Yeah.
parts that were better than others, but I knew that no matter what, when you're in something pretty fun and pretty and will leave an impact on someone. So feeling that in there, feeling it in there with guys who know what the hell they're doing was that much better.
And another forbidden door seemed to open recently. We got Gallows and Anderson just like strolling on a WWE TV while Anderson is still never open weight championship. I even told him I hope it doesn't become the never gonna defend that championship. What did you think when you saw that? Like, what goes through your mind when you hear like these guys, one of which holds a title, just popping up on WWE TV?
Well, I think that anytime that you do business with the Good Brothers, there's always a chance that they're going to be doing something wild like that. I mean, that's just a part of the game.
They told me they were going to WWE before they even left Impact. They were like, "Yeah, we're going." And like with them, I can't like be like reporting that because I think
Well,
they're full of shit. I think they're
they're
lying.
fucking with you.
But the thing is, they have never lied to me about anything yet. It's just I still can't trust them.
Exactly right, dude. It's that truth. It's so truthful that it doesn't even make sense. It's real. Yeah. No, I get it, man. Those guys are truly. I mean, them. They're probably better than I do, but yeah. Anytime they kind of come into the situation, they're always goofing around, but they're always always making money somewhere. So I wouldn't be surprised. Personally, I want to see him come back and get his ass whooped by Hikuleo because I
Sure.
think Hikuleo's ready to do that. So I mean, who knows what the case is going to be, but we'll see. I'm excited. That's Saudi money though. Oof.
I know, I know. Carl was like, never again. Now he's like, well, maybe.
Well, Saudi Arabia, we'll do it
I,
somewhere overseas.
I said never again, but how about maybe twice a year for the next 5 years? We'll settle there. Uh,
Oh darn.
Another
Yeah.
name that you're very familiar with, obviously, Carl Fredericks left New Japan this year. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, you've got a long history with him.
Oh, Carl's my dude. Carl's in, him, Alex, and Gabe, and all that. We're best friends. We're family. So I had known about his where his mind was at for the in terms of how New Japan was working out, how our contracts and our careers have worked out so far, and I know for him that he's got a lot of big plans in his life. He's a phenomenal DJ. He's got a lot going on for him. So I always told him, hey man, whatever makes you happy. So he's just trying different things right now, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna lead him. But I know it's big things for Carl at all
Now,
times.
feel free to tell me to go play in traffic, but are you anchored down long term with New Japan? How is that working out? Because I mean, I know around the start of each year, a lot of people free up.
Yeah, no, I love New Japan. They've given me every opportunity in the world, but I'm also a businessman. Don't get me wrong. I would never say never to anything. So I want to hear about it. I'd like to. It's nice to know where you're at in the terms of the wrestling world. But my allegiances are firmly in New Japan right now, as long as I get the chance to actually show what I can do. And that's all I got to say about that. And been about I've been with the company for 4 years now under contract. And obviously, the pandemic plays a role in that. So we'll see this 2023, and I know big things are coming on my end. So let's see if they can hold up the bar air and the bargain too, because I want the best for everybody.
You mentioned how the pandemic affected things. Like it almost forced New Japan into a brand split with New Japan Strong. And I've loved that show ever since it came on. Like when I saw that, I was like, that's what I thought NXT should kind of be. Like where you've got these big stars, you've got younger guys, you've got guys that'll just show up. And that's what they've made NXT now with this hybrid of what it was and what it became. Now you see like Kevin Owens popping up there. That was happening on New Japan Strong like from the jump during the pandemic. And it still is a really special show because you don't know what's going to happen, don't know who's going to show up. What was going through your mind when the pandemic hit, and like how do they even tell you guys, hey, we're doing this whole new brand and this is what we're gonna use you guys with?
Well, yeah, I mean, we were one of us, the young lions, especially in the LA Dojo side. We were on that unlucky area where we didn't get our visas in time to go to Japan. Once we found that out, we were like, oh, we're gonna be stuck over here for a good while. And they just came with the idea. The matchmakers came with that strong idea, and then it was kind of basically like we basically are going to make this show, base it around you guys to some extent, and hope you show your progression so you guys don't get lost in the shuffle, more or less. And for the first year of New Japan Strong, if you really break it down and watch it, it is a lot of it is about the young lions, growing. Carl becoming his character finally, the Alpha Wolf. I kind of was on that long run of my final bit of excursion. Then the next year it was kind of Alex's turn to do it. So there's obviously a lot of great storylines, and I think it is the best pure hour of professional wrestling that you can find if you just want to watch great wrestlers having great matches. Um, and now it's kind of evolving, I think, but at first it was really about us, I think.
But I mean, even then, like, look what it did for Fred Rosser's career. A lot of people, I interviewed him maybe about 5 months before that, and I was like, man, are you still wrestling? Because you don't take that many bookings these days. He's like, I am. And he's like, I'm going to ramp it up next year. Well, he didn't know the pandemic was going to happen. But I mean, that sort of forced his hand, and now he's a premier player in New Japan, signed to New Japan fully as well. And I remember during that period, like, I'd see you against like Daniel Garcia or Leo Rush, and it's a lot of these matches that I wouldn't think up in my head initially. And New Japan was like, let's do it. Everybody's facing everybody. All these combinations of 6-man tags that were bangers as well. Like it became like one of my favorite things to watch every week. Like I'd be exhausted after the week of coverage. and then I'd still be like, well, time to watch New Japan Strong. It's got such a, it's a very special show, and glad it came along like that. I had also noticed, and I had almost forgot this. You worked a few ROH dates a few years ago. Now I know that you were with New Japan as well. What were your thoughts when New Japan ended up getting, or Ring of Honor got bought? Because I mean, even though you've shown your allegiance to New Japan, that is one less place effectively to leverage in the future.
Yeah, man. No, don't get me wrong. Like I might be a pro wrestler, but I'm a businessman. I went to college, and I understand how supply and demand works. So don't I love the idea of Ring of Honor just being around, which is
Yeah.
awesome. Obviously, it's under the umbrella over there, the umbrella corporation over there. But I think that is good for business to get all those guys more time. I mean, no one ever says more titles is great, but I
Yeah.
think it's great if it's given more people a platform to do their thing. Obviously, watching Garcia, watching Yuta, and obviously Jericho doing what he's doing, it tells more stories. But in terms of for me for leveraging and all that, I still like the idea of being able to go over there and wrestle on another show. It's better than not having a show at all. So it's still a payday, which is the beauty of it. But at the time being, I'm not too worried about it once again because I am where I'm at with New Japan. Very happy.
Now, I've read online that you had a background in football, but I couldn't find much beyond that. Like what position did you play? Like I'm a huge football fan. I'm interested to learn.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. I went to Cal Poly. I was like a preferred walk on over there, a little one double A Big Sky football. And I played running back, and we ran a fucking triple option. So it's like, so I was just like, I don't, why am I playing running back? Nothing I love more than sprinting 40 yards just to not get the ball.
Yeah.
But but yeah, no, I played cornerback in high school. I was highly recruited at the D3, D2 levels, that's for sure. But yeah, nothing huge football school wise.
So I mean, like physically, like what did that do to you? I mean, being a running back, we see it in the NFL all the time. Like people will play 3 years, hit their wall. They'll rush for 2,000 yards, and then 5 years later, they're out of the league. Like physically, how did you feel after that? Because I mean, I wouldn't be able to tell that you took any significant damage based on the way that you work in the ring. But I mean, that's your job, is to make us think that you're hurt or not hurt, depending on the situation.
Right. Well, I think Chris Nowinski would have a word with you about
That's
my
true.
head. But
I
no, a
saw
lot
the
of it was
Tua thing live. It was horrifying.
dude, that was nuts, man. No, it's like, and it makes you really think about it. But it's one of those things where I remember playing, and I was talking to my dad about it, especially in high school, because I would get 30 carries a game. We were power eye offense, and yeah, I would be like, yeah, remember that game when I got knocked out? Remember that game when I,
Oh man.
And I know it's tough, and I think the cool thing though is it's taught me how to protect myself in a lot of ways. I've had every injury under the book at some point, just getting banged up from playing running back pretty much, and concussions and whatnot. But more than anything, actually, I hurt my back. This is so how I have the herniated disc now. When I was in college, I have had a bulging disc from deadlifting, and so I've been dealing with sciatica for like 7 years. So, which is with travel and wrestling, that's like everyone always said, travel's the worst part, right? And that's what it was for me. Sitting on a plane, sitting on the bus, always killed me. But at the same time, I think it's taught me how to take care of my body better overall. And so that's why I've been able to kind of take care of myself with this back injury as well. So yeah, it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love football. It's my favorite thing to watch, and and I'm gambling again, brother. It's
Oh
good to be
man.
back. Yeah,
I'm pissy. I've
but
got I've got that DraftKings sponsorship, but I can't do it here in Kentucky. Like so like they're paying to be on our audio, and I'm like, I sure wish I could cash in on these deals that we're giving people. Who's your NFL team?
I'm a Seahawks man. I'm from Seattle originally,
What
so
about Gino?
Dino, baby. Oh my goodness, he's surprised. I'm blowing my mind.
Him and
None of
Russell
us get it.
Wilson did the Lindsay Lohan, Jamie Lee Curtis Freaky Friday and switched bodies. I don't know what happened, but I love it. I hope this makes the NFL take a look at like how they've done things for years and be like, maybe we shouldn't write people off so early.
Hey man, because they're not gonna write back. I'll tell you that much. If they do. But yeah, no, I agree, man. I think that like I didn't realize it because I mean I'm obviously a big Seattle guy, and so we were in the cult of Russell Wilson, which is cool because
Yeah.
I love his corniness and all that shit. It's kind of funny,
Yeah.
but I didn't realize how often he just would make a play bad on his own, right?
Hmm.
Like there was a read there, but he would always just do that Fran Tarkington shit, and I mean he'd always make a play, which is great, and see a lot more he could have been doing, if he just listen to what Pete Carroll called. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I love Joe Burrow, and he got sacked so many times, but I think we saw in the first couple games this year, it's like he was responsible for a significant number of those just by tucking and falling down. And ever since then, his coach has said, get rid of the ball. He's not getting sacked anymore. It's great. And that's what you want out of a player. But man, it makes me happy to see Geno Smith. It always makes me happy to see somebody emerge when they were written off. Like in the NBA, there are players that got cut by 3 or 4 different teams, and they make the All-Star team when they finally land somewhere. I love to see it. But we're not writing you off yet, even though you had that back injury. You're back against Suzuki Friday, New Japan, Rumble on 44th Street in New York City. Oh,
Man.
Anything,
No, man, really excited.
yeah, anything you want to let the people know before we head out, obviously, where they can follow you on social media?
Yeah, no, social media wise, it's just at Clark Connors at Twitter, and I think it's at Clark.Connors on Instagram. But the last thing I want to leave you with is I've been working my butt off, getting back in shape, getting my back right. But the most important thing too was a lot of wrestlers had reached out to me, kind of when I got injured, and I was just hearing all support from people. It was great, and I actually through one of the wrestlers reached out to another wrestler in particular who knows Suzuki very well and who's actually been training me and teaching me some stuff. And he will be at least backstage at the Rumble on 44th Street, but I'm gonna see if we can get him out there to come out and second me. So that's just a little something for you. I've been kicking ass,
able
and
to say
I'm
who
not
it
gonna lie,
is?
I cannot, but as much as I would love to. It's because I don't want Suzuki to find out. I'll tell you that much.
Sure.
But yeah, just a little something I want to leave you with. But I'm ready to kick some
Interesting.
ass, man. Let's get wild, baby.
Clark Connors, I appreciate the time. Guys, check out New Japan Rumble on 44th Street this weekend. Until next time, guys, we're out.